day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're right, 'cause it's time for the abnormal barders. Today we have quite a lot to chase after. Only 2 skins this week are not abnormal. The Oil King Pump Shotgun and the Primal Savage Axe, they are regular skins. They will only become marketable when the rust rotates tomorrow. Which of course means we have all of these other skins that are abnormal, and we'll be chasing to get these barders down. But of course, some of you might be completely new to this. Some of you probably have no idea what abnormal skins are, what regular skins are, and you might need some help. Alright, no worries then, we'll help you out very quickly. So, first of all, if you're completely new to this, consider looking in the description of this video right now. Look at the top of the description, you'll see 2 videos are listed. The very first video is a 60-second short video which will quickly showcase to you the abnormal skins. They will become marketable before the rust even rotates, alright? We know exactly when that's going to happen, so what we're going to do is we're going to sit here, try and figure out decent prices to offer for all of these skins, and then of course, when the time is right, which will be in about an hour and a half's time, we'll race to get those barders down, and then afterwards, we'll look at all of these skins again, we'll see how many barders each skin has, we'll see how high the prices go, and then we can sit there and consider, are these skins likely to retain their value, or could they potentially have any issues actually managing to keep their price up? If they do look as if they could retain their value, then chances are they'll very likely work out as very nice investments in the future. Yep, if you want to get involved with Ruskin investing, you've got to learn about abnormals. All right? So, if you're sitting there and wondering, well, I'd like to learn more. I want to be able to identify them. I want to know when specifically they become marketable. All right, no worries then. Consider looking at the second video listed in the description. It's about 20 minutes long, but it will quite literally inform you of everything in regards to abnormals, all right? How to identify them, knowing when they appear, you get the idea. All the mechanics of them, they will be mentioned in the second video listed. So, all right, cool. So, got some pretty high sales this week. We had some pretty interesting collection continuations, but could anything here actually work out as a nice investment? I'm going to go through all these skins right now, and I'm going to figure out some prices. And you know what? Maybe as a little bonus, I should just quickly point out, we've actually got sandbox skins as well. Yeah, that's a bit surprising. Anyway, let's focus Rust first of all. Pirate Electric Furnace. You are the second ever electric furnace skin we have ever seen, and I still hold the idea that this is going to probably suffer in the future. What do you mean? Well, brand new skinnables. When we get a brand new skinnable, the first few skins that are accepted tend to sell quite a lot. 55,000 subscribers, and potentially by tomorrow, over 40,000 subscribers. I would assume both of that's quite high. So, basically, as we see more and more electric furnaces being produced and accepted in future Rust stores, and electric furnaces as Twitch drops and kick drops, and it will happen, as we see more and more of them being added to the game. The first few skins, whilst they're special and very interesting when they first came out, when there's a lot more options available, it is expected these are likely going to suffer. And the beds are the best example showcasing this. So, not beds, a bed. Thank you. The first few beds that came out, they were very special. They were very interesting. They also sold a lot. Now look at them. Down 59, down 71, down 49, down 47, down 55. Honestly, yeah. I know quite a lot of beds are starting to improve now, which is nice to see. But it's going to take a while for these to fully recover. And unfortunately, with what we saw with the beds there, very likely to be happening with the electric furnaces. So yes, initially, oh wow, that looks very interesting. That looks very cool. But there will be more very interesting and very cool looking electric furnaces on the horizon. Like, if you aren't fully well aware, if I could just quickly point this out, with the recent batch of electric furnace submissions from the past weekend, we have seen some pretty cool looking designs. I mean, we've seen No Mercy, we've seen Pirate Sword, we've got Popstar. I made quite a fuss about this. This is the most supported skin that was submitted this past weekend. I look at it, it's like a... It's beautiful. But yes, we are seeing some very creative, very wacky designs being produced now, okay? So, you've got to understand, when more and more wacky and creative designs are going to be added and accepted, they will take away the attention from the first few that came out. So if they've sold a lot, guess what also happens? Oh no, if people don't care about them anymore, you're going to see tons of them listed on the Steam market and on third-party sites. And yes, their price will suffer. So, unfortunately, I can't help but sit here and assume that this Pirate electric furnace very likely will be struggling. But I will also point out Pirate Collection's in demand. People like it. People appreciate it. But the highest ever deplorable skin we've seen before this appeared, well, it was, what, is it the furnace? Is it the large box? Yeah, 16,600 subscribers. That's not that much. 40,000 by tomorrow, I reckon. And just to point out, my expectation was, when I did the 48 analysis, I thought this was going to do between 35 to 40,000 subscribers. Now, if we have another sudden super early rust rotation tomorrow, chances are we'll do less than 40,000. But I reckon we're going to just about go over 40,000 by tomorrow. So my estimate wasn't 100% correct, but mostly correct. We have seen a lot of sales happen, and we are concerned. But in the further future, I won't be surprised if this actually manages to recover a fair bit. Pirate Collection is in demand. I respect that. But with all due respect, we only really saw the deplorables go up in value when we had the Naval update. So maybe it never really recovers because we're not going to have like another Naval update, are we? It's not going to be like something completely new. So yeah, point made. So we'll see what becomes of that. But to be honest with you, I think I'm just going to do 80 cents to 1 to the 20. I'm just going to go halfway. I don't know if this is going to end up less than $1 or anything. Like, have you seen regular furnaces, for example? We've got quite a lot of like regular furnace skins, as you'll notice. And you might notice the majority of them are not exactly doing super great. Are we going to end up like this, but with electric furnaces eventually? What do you reckon? So yeah, 80 cents to 1 to the 20. I'm going to go about halfway, and I think that's probably I think it's a reasonable approach. Yeah. Maybe during the summertime, so more specifically, from now to about August time, chances are it probably won't go down all the way down to the price I'm going to offer, right? It might not go all the way down to there. But once we reach around October time, when we go through the autumn-fall seasonal dip, and yes, I know it's about another half a year away, but it's going to happen. Don't be surprised if both the Neon and the Pirate electric furnace go down bad. Don't be surprised. By the time we reach that point, chances are we'll probably have another 10 electric furnaces that have been accepted by then, which will only reinforce the potential problems. So I feel like I've said my words. Yeah, you should be a little bit cautious as you approach that. But by all means, listen. If you like the skin and you appreciate it, you want it, just go buy it. Treat yourself. Support that skin creator. Keep them nice and motivated to want to keep out, for them to want to keep putting out nice and creative designs in the future. So, all right, cool, understood. Tribal Alloy AK-47. Now, I made a mistake. I didn't mention this in my Rust Workshop skin checks video, so I apologise to Mr. WR2ME and Mr. Koba. I have added it to my collection now. And, well, you know what? I'm talking about it now. So, there you go. And, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, it's the SAR. Sorry, I was like, aren't we talking about the AK? No, we're talking about the collection continuation as well. Oh. So, okay. It is being turned into a collection. That's nice to see. That's cool. All right, cool. But if that were to be accepted, right, will the AK actually go up in value? Because it is sitting here at over 25,000 subscribers, and that's quite a lot. That is quite a lot. Personally, I would also be a bit concerned. But I do like the design of this. I thought it looked pretty interesting. Like, I usually don't care that much for metallic skins, but with all due respect, the pattern design, how they've made it, it looks cool. And it has sold a lot for a reason. It's $3, all right? It's $3, and yet it's still sold a lot. So clearly people like it. There's demand. I reckon people would also happen to like a transparent aim sight SAR. Just saying. So if we were to see the SAR, you know what? If we end up with a brand new, interesting metallic design set with transparent aim sights and whatnot, yeah, I think people would be pretty pleased. I think the price of these skins would hold up nicely. But this doesn't have a transparent aim sight. And we might end up with a situation like Hellcore. See, with Hellcore, you know, we've had some very interesting skins being accepted and whatnot. Quite a lot of these skins are doing very nicely. But that also started off with an AK. Now that AK, initially, when we had like the SAR being accepted and other things here, that was in the positive, but it went back down again. Why is that? Because it doesn't have a transparent aim sight. It's just a black AK. Oh. Of course, you know, with the SAR there, transparent aim sight, $6+. That worked out nicely. So, yeah, we could end up with a very similar situation. I am a fair bit concerned. I don't usually like to approach higher priced AK-47s. They tend to go down bad. So let's just quickly point out, earlier this year we had like gold chains. Not too long ago we had Imprisoned Demon. So that's like $1.28 after selling at $3. This is now $1.20 after selling at $3. I look at you, and I think personally I'll just do 80 cents to $1.20. I'm not that keen, but I must accept that if we were to see an actual collection being spawned from this, I might have to change my tune. So, all right then, I'm playing it safe. I'll acknowledge that. And don't forget, keep an eye out. Could we see a transparent aim sight, tribal ally SAR potentially being accepted? So, right. Best luck to the skin creators. But yeah, that has matched up to my expectation. I thought that was going to sell between 25 to 30,000 subscribers. So, okay, cool. We've also got the Redemption Bow. Now, I thought this was going to probably do between like 14 to 16,000 subscribers. Let's just quickly confirm that. Yeah, I thought the bow was going to do between 14 to 16,000 subscribers. So what's changed its tune? Why has this suddenly got a lot more sales? Well, chances are it's because people have noticed that we've got a crossbow right here, a transparent crossbow. Now, if I could just quickly point out, if you aren't fully well aware, the Industrial DLC has a bowless crossbow. That would mean a crossbow without all the side panels here, like completely invisible. There's nothing there. And you might have noticed Stinger crossbow starts to go down in price a fair bit. I will point this out. A Stinger crossbow will probably set you back about $5. But this proposed brand new DLC, it wouldn't surprise me if it costs around $15. So if you're hoping to sit there, if you're going to sit there and say, I'd rather get the DLC, well, it will cost more. But then again, if you've seen what's in that Industrial DLC, yeah, okay, fair enough. There's some pretty cool looking things in that. So I would be a little bit concerned with that, in that regard. But to be honest with you, I also wouldn't be surprised if we do actually see this being accepted. If this were to be accepted, I mean, that bow's going to have a very nice time. Regardless, though, that whole collection's having a good time. Ruskin prices at the moment, they're doing pretty good. I have made a video talking about this. The pre-summer spike. Lots of prices are improving. Quite interesting to see. And I still expect to see prices improve and reach their peak around July and August time. That is the expectation. So, of course, let's also bring up that in the past, bow skins just haven't really performed very nicely. The majority are struggling and suffering. Not too hard to notice. Okay, cool. But based on what I'm looking at here, I must point out transparent bows, at least with the transparency we have in them, it's becoming a lot more common. If I can recall, at least one of these guys also had transparency on their bow. So we've already got a Twitch drop. So, Frankie, I don't think I can sit here and accept your rule of cool. Hedge, it's a black bow with a red line. Well, I mean, we've got a red bow now with a red line. So anyway, red string. I know it's got a red string. I've seen it. The red string doesn't make it super valid. Shut up. Anyway, we've got a bow here. It's all nice and red. It's part of a well-established collection that's in demand. And still, I hope for the hoodie and pants. Anyway, I actually think that might hold up quite nicely. In regards to this bow, I think I'm going to offer between $1.50 to $2. I actually think this actually might work out quite all right. Like, I was pretty positive with the Hellcore bow, and that's actually doing quite all right at the moment as well. But then again, also consider long-term, how's that going to behave once we reach around October time? Yeah, that might be a little bit problematic. But then again, how'd that look around post-Christmas time? Post-Christmas 2027. So, of course, inevitably, we're going to have some high points. We're going to have some low points. I guess I wouldn't be too upset to pick these up at $2 a piece. Wait it out. I certainly hope in the future I'll be able to flip it for some sweet, delicious profit. And let me point out, SKS is still holding up quite nicely. Handmade LMG is still holding up nicely. Things are looking pretty sweet overall. So, yeah, I think that can work out nicely. So, yeah, I'll be offering a fairly decent price. Naval Camo Backpack. A perfectly fine blue design, part of a well-established collection, as you might notice. I thought this was going to do between 16 to 18,000 subscribers, and well, By tomorrow, I still believe it'll have just less than 18,000 subscribers. That honestly, that right there, that's in a pretty good spot. Now, the only concern was this going to sell a reasonable amount in comparison to all the core pieces here? Core pieces are referred to as like the hoodie pants, the tier 2 and the tier 3. Boots and gloves as well, you know. But anyway, by tomorrow, I do believe this will sell less than 18,000 subscribers. I think that slots them perfectly with what we see here with the boots and the gloves and the tier 3. By the way, did you see that the tier 3 got bought out? Tier 3 is now sitting on the Steam market at just over $4 and almost $5 here. So that's in a very, 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 very good spot. And I still believe we're going to see this work out even better as we go through July and August. To all the people concerned in regards to the tier 2, that came out during the very beginning of the Easter dip. So there's a lot of it listed. Give it time. It wouldn't surprise me if that does recover. Anyway, I have high hopes for this collection. I do believe it's going to work out very nicely over the course of the next few months. Yeah, of course, we might suffer as we go through October time, but then post-Christmas, I'm expecting very nice things. Anyway, with this backpack, could we see anything else that could give that a nice boost? Yes, we can. I've even seen it already. If I go to the workshop right now, you might notice we have a jacket skin. Okay, so we've got a jacket skin right there. That's looking pretty sweet. That's looking pretty interesting, and I think a lot of people would greatly appreciate it. Will it be accepted? Well, we've only had one jacket skin accepted so far this year. I wouldn't say no. In fact, do we even have a blue jacket? I think we had that Twitch drop. Let's quickly go remind ourselves. I think we got a standard blue jacket, if I can recall. Yeah, we got the standard one. But other than that, I mean, you got the Pico one from back in, 5 years ago. Yeah, I think we don't really have that many blue jackets. I think people will appreciate that. So, with that potentially on the horizon, I think that backpack could work out nicely. Another thing I just want to quickly bring up to you. You know how last year we just kept seeing backpack after backpack after backpack after backpack? Have you seen them now? I'm starting to notice a lot of backpacks actually going up in price. Quite a lot of them have in fact recovered. Well, that's pretty interesting. So, honestly, I think I've got some pretty high hopes for that backpack. So, 80 cents to $1.20 for a $1.49 skin. Yep, 80 cents to $1.20. I think that's pretty good. So, all right, cool. Psycho tier 3 armor. All we need is to see some hoodie and pants or some tier 2. And unfortunately, we didn't see that happen immediately, did we? No, just the tier 3 there. So, no sequel has been made yet, but I would expect it. But will it be accepted? Let me just quickly remind you. Not too long ago, 2 months ago, we saw Acid Arachnid hoodie and pants and Wasteland Recruit tier 3 being submitted. Well, I mean, accepted. And what we're hoping for was to see some sequels being produced, being submitted to the Rust Workshop. Unfortunately, whilst they were submitted, they were never accepted. Now, I have seen the second attempt for the tier 3 over to here, so that's nice to see. Actually, no, was it the first attempt? It was tier 2 they made, and then they made... Okay, fair enough. I got that mixed up. I made a mistake in my Rust Workshop skin checks video. Regardless, they're still trying. But the skin creator here, did you stop? Did you just give up? Well, they made a very cool looking fridge. Okay, cool. But I would like to see the hoodie and pants and the tier 2 get another attempt. Just saying. Anyway, so is the skin creator going to fully commit? Or is he just going to make one attempt and then just disappear? I don't know. I'm not 100% confident. Don't want to sound mean, but I will say that. But I must respect... If we do see the sequels, if we do see the collection continuations, that will spike demand, spike in price. You do have about 15,000 subscribers each, which, you know, isn't ridiculous, but it isn't exactly like next to nothing. So personally, I'm going to offer between 70 cents to 90 cents for both those pieces there. It wouldn't surprise me for a while as we wait for a potential collection continuation. It wouldn't surprise me if that suffers a fair bit. But if we do see the collection continuation, you're going to make some sweet, delicious profit. But I'm not feeling that confident, I'm afraid to say. So, sorry about that. But, yeah. Tempered tactical gloves. So I was looking at the tempered clothing armor skins, and, well, you know what? They actually have improved recently. These two pieces did drop off a fair bit. I think this actually might do quite alright. Like, let's just look at all the tactical gloves we've seen so far. The worst performing one is the cyber gloves, sitting here at $1.10. Other than that, everything else here isn't too bad. You've got a Christmas themed skin here, down bad, but guess what happens when we get closer and closer to Christmas time? And, yeah, Phantom tactical gloves, they're down a fair bit, but nothing here is less than $1. I mean, you are, but you sold for $1, so it's a bit different. Anyway, well, you sold not too far off from what we saw Deep Ruby tactical gloves. I could kind of see this actually retaining quite a decent amount of its value. So I'm looking at it, I'm questioning it, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe I'll do like, I was going to say $1.20 to $1.70, but I have seen the tempered skins not exactly perform very nicely before we saw this being accepted. I think I'm going to offer between $1 to $1.50 for these tactical gloves. I'm not sure if the tempered set actually gets usage. Have you run around all nice and purpley? I don't know. So I'm looking at it and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just do $1 to $1.50. I can respect it's one of the largest collections in the game. I'm just not sure if people are truly respecting and appreciating the armor. I'm sure the face mask gets a lot of usage. What about all the other pieces, though? So, yeah. Okay. So, all right. Cool. $1 to $1.50. And then we have the only transparent aim sight pump shotgun skin in Rust. I'm led to believe. Anyway. To my surprise, this is the lowest selling heat seeker skin we're going to have. For now. I should point out, a sequel has been made. We've got a water pipe shotgun right there. And of course, before we saw this being submitted, we had the double barrel. So, based on what I'm looking at here, I think we got some very nice options that could appear proper. You know, we could see them tomorrow. We could see them next week. Maybe even a week after. Heat seeker pump shotgun. There's a very good chance we could see some sequels fairly soon. You very likely could get a boost. But let me just point this out to you. Wow. The second lowest selling skin we saw with Heat Seeker Collection is the AK-47. The first skin to be accepted in this set. That does sound quite silly. But you know what? I've also had some people messaging me and saying, well, you know, I don't like Heat Seeker Collection. I think it looks ugly. I did see someone say that. But you know what? Here's my answer. A lot of other people think it looks nice. And you might notice that with the prices. Yeah. So just because you personally don't happen to like it doesn't mean everybody else is the same. You must respect what everybody else is liking. A perfect contrast with these two skins is that this sold far too much. This did over 50,000 subscribers, and right now in the Steam market, this is currently sitting here with over 300 listings. What? Yep. That is absurd. With this right here, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a situation where after a good couple months, you're only going to see like 20 to 30 listings on the Steam market. This right here has sold 6 times less in comparison to Heatseeker SKS. I don't think this is going to struggle or suffer. Now, you might sit there and point out how often you even use a pump shotgun. Okay, fair enough. But that collection is in demand and people want the full set. Yes, it's $3.49, but you know what? I don't expect to see that many listings on the Steam market. I don't expect to see that many listings on third-party sites. It wouldn't surprise me if that actually works out quite nicely. And yes, I am contemplating buying a batch. So, what price am I going to suggest? I reckon I'm going to offer between $2.20 to $2.70. Yep, I'm going in strong. I think that actually might work out quite alright. It's the sheer lack of sales. And if I could just also point this out, with the full chat analysis, I thought both the pump shotguns were going to sell between 8 to 11,000 subscribers. I do believe Heatseeker will be going over 8,000. I'm not sure if we're going to reach all the way up to 9,000. Imagine that. A Heatseeker skin actually managing to sell less than 10,000 subscribers. It's madness. But do you understand? Do you respect with what I say? Heatseeker Collection is in demand, and if we start seeing a lot more skins being accepted, which are currently provided on the workshop, we very likely could be having Heat Seeker Summer 2026. So, yeah, it's in a pretty good spot. So, yes, I'm looking at that with positivity. Who knows what other things might be submitted in the near future? Maybe I asked the skin creator just a second ago, could you make both the Savage tools at the same time for Heat Seeker Collection? We'll see if he wants to do it. We'll see. So, cool. So that's all the abnormal skins. Let's talk about the regular skins. And I repeat, regular skins only become marketable when the roster rotates tomorrow. Oil King Pump Shotgun. You also have sold next to nothing. But with all due respect, I don't think you have the appeal Heat Seeker Collection has. You're perfectly fine for what you are. You're a lot more grounded. You're less artistic, I guess you could say. Not to sound mean, this definitely looks like it's a DIY style sort of skin and whatnot. And there's a lot of people that do appreciate that. Vase is quite literally an artist. So, anyway. I'm not sure what to expect with this. But then we also should look at pump shotguns in general. You got the colourful pop star pump shotgun. That's doing okay at the moment. You got Flame Anarchy, which is... oh boy. That also didn't sell that much. I'm a little bit worried what we have here is another Flame Anarchy sort of skin. These two very likely will work out alright because they're nice and colourful. They're very unique. And they have collections behind them that would also support them. But these two, they don't have that. I'm not surprised that that suffered. But it's also very good to point out, even that went to less than $1. Even that went to less than $1. So, okay, we get the point. So I'm kind of looking at this and I think I'm just going to play it safe. I think I'm just going to do 60 cents to 80 cents. I don't fully trust it. I'm sorry to say, but I'm sure you don't want to accidentally get dumped on, do you? So, okay, fair enough then. And then Primal Salvaged Axe. Did we even see a collection continuation? I don't think we did. Was I wrong? No, we got the Starry Night Rug, which with all due respect, it does look very pretty. Oh, yes, we don't know where. I'd have reason to believe we will be seeing a sequel at some point in the near future. But we didn't see it happen immediately, so now we look at this and we question what happens next. Well, you're sitting there with around 4,600 subscribers, and if I could hop back over to here, looking at Savage Axe, yes, I thought it was going to do between 5,000 to 7,000 subscribers. Well, by tomorrow, even by tomorrow, I doubt you're going to even reach 5,000 subscribers. I'm not sure what to say because this easily could be a skin that ends up becoming manipulated. And a manipulated skin, oh, they could go up absurdly. It has sold next to nothing. It is easy to be manipulated because it's easy to buy out completely. So, interesting. Very, very interesting. I understand Savage Axes aren't exactly doing stupendous. What's the worst they're performing at? Like, they're still all above $1. Look, if this did 10,000 subscribers, I'm definitely doing like 60 cents to 80 cents, but it didn't do that. And yet still, I'm not fully confident. Like, do I really want to depend on manipulators? Not really. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking I'm just going to offer 60 cents to 80 cents then. Yeah, sorry to say, but yeah, sorry. So, yeah, that's it. That's everything then. We've talked about all the skins. Now we must discuss what are we going to expect tomorrow. So, in regards to tomorrow, do you reckon we're going to see an early rust rotation? To our surprise, it happened last week, so I guess we could see it happen again. Just to point out, when we have an update, when we have a force wipe, we expect to have an early rust rotation. But last week was even earlier. It happened at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. And on average, they normally happen at like 8 o'clock in the evening. So, okay, well, fair enough then. Anyway, what could we see? There's a lot of interesting skins here. A lot of interesting collection continuations. Like, we've got Reptile Hunter Sleeping Bag, which I just realised, hang on a minute, I didn't talk about that in my... Oh. You made a mistake, didn't you? Yeah, yes, I did. Oh, look at that. Furnace Worthless Papers. I can't believe. So, yeah, basically what I wanted to talk about was my Rush Workshop skin checks, where I talk about mostly all of the collection continuations, but I might have forgotten a certain sleeping bag and a saw. Oh, good job, Hedge. But with all due respect, I did sit here for an hour talking about collection continuations. And also, we know that for the second week of June, we're going to have a Complete the Sets Rust store. It has been announced the skin creators in the official skin making Discord have been informed to take a break. Well, what could potentially be accepted, Hedge? Good question. So let's just switch over to here. And, oh, I don't have the collection on me right now. Yes, you do. It's over here, right? No, that's your inventory. There we go. Good job, Hedge. Anyway, yes. I will link this in the description of this video. And this weekend, we will have a special video going over it once again, because we have done so in the past. I've had this collection since 2023. But I always go back to it. I always add it, refine it. You get the idea. Basically, we have seen a lot of interesting collections building up over the past few years. But not every single skin gets accepted. Notably, for example, there's wrought iron. We haven't seen the chair and the table being accepted. It has 4 skins in total and whatnot, so it's a full-fledged established collection. That would be perfectly viable for a complete sets for our store. Along with all of these other skins here. You've got like Shadowborn collection, Porcelain collection, Dungeon collection, Cargo Heli. You get the idea, all of that. I should move the wrought iron to here. I just noticed I got a chair and table there. Anyway, Points to Remains, Forest Raiders. You've got Protector. You've got Hazma. Yep, that's a new addition. Rainbow Pony. You've got a lot of potential collection continuations here. But it's not specifically these skins. It's other skins as well. So you might notice we now have the Apotheosis of War Armored Door. But what I'd like for you to go ahead and do is look at them here, but also notice they have collection links right here as well. That is the representative of the many skins that have been accepted in the past as well. So we've also got like the fridge here, although that was a recent submission, but don't be surprised if we actually see that potentially being accepted. That's still a perfectly fine candidate. We also happen to have the sheet meta double door. We even have the rug from a year ago, you know? So what that armored door is basically being a representative for its collection. That is pointing out that Apotheosis of War is a candidate to have a skin accepted. So again, you've got like Cobalt Jungle, you've got Apocalyptic, you've got Ultramarine, you've got Ramen Sheet collection, there's a bunch of doors and whatnot, there's another Ultramarine skin. Yeah, I do have quite a lot of things in regards to like collections and whatnot. I've seen some pretty cool looking skins, let's just put it that way. So I did try and add a variety. Oh, I should have removed them. I should have removed them. Yes, I forgot to remove all the ones that actually got accepted. To my surprise, I had about like 10 plus skins that are actually accepted from this whole list. I added the stone tools, so I forgot to remove those. So yes, I still need to clean it up and whatnot. But there's a lot of interesting collections here. Which of them will actually get accepted? We'll talk more about that in the actual video, discussing it like directly. Sandbox. So I thought I'd just wedge this in with the abnormals. If you aren't fully well aware, Sandbox is released. It's had a bit of a funny start, but then again, the idea is this is going to be a slow progress. It's not going to be an immediate massive success. It needs to build itself up with some interesting games. That is the beginning. And unfortunately, it might not fully succeed for maybe another year or so. Other than that, we've also started to see skins quite literally being added to the game that are drops. So if you play enough, if you do reviews and whatnot, you get free skins. That's quite familiar. Haven't we seen something like that before? Not the whiteout. I'm referring to these skins over here. Well, we're in a bit of a funny position right now. We don't know what to do in regards to the sandbox skins. What am I going to offer for what is going to drop for free? But then again, how many people are currently playing right now? That's actually a good shout. So we go over to here, look at the Steam DB. We've only had only 1,400 played today. In theory, if it properly builds itself up with a lot more interesting games, if there are more YouTube videos being made about it and whatnot, in theory, it could really kick off. But it released with not too many super interesting games. Let's be real here. I will have to make another video looking around, looking at various games in there and whatnot. But if it does eventually reach a point where it works out nicely, oh yeah, all of these skins are going to be, going up in demand and whatnot. But the drops. Rust is popular. Rust has thousands upon thousands of people playing every single day. Over 100,000 on average. All of these skins you see here that drop for free, they have thousands listed. Are we going to end up where we have skins like this, where they're down to like 15 cents each? Or due to a lack of people playing and a lack of people getting these skins, could these be worth a little bit more? Well, that's an interesting thing to consider. I think I might have to just stick with like a 10-cent barter though, just out of precaution. Because if this does ever work out like really well in the future, it wouldn't surprise me if those drop skins are still going to be drop skins in the future. So, yeah. Well, it is what it is. Chat, that's the best answer I could give to you. When Hedge is cautious, he plays it safe. And I feel like that's probably the smartest way to go about it. Imagine me going back to this when, when I'm in the future. Would this be a smart decision or a terrible decision? I don't know. Well, I thought I'd address it in Rust because, of course, S&box is also made by Face Punch. And I think Rust is basically bankrolling S&box at the moment, helping it keep afloat. So, all right, cool. So I've got buy orders to do for that as well. Yippee. Yay. All right, cool. So we've said enough. We've done plenty of yapping. Let's proceed to do those buy orders. Let's now skip ahead and, well, do just that. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. I should point out, it looks as if extensions are broken at the moment. Yeah, I can't look at skins in different currencies and whatnot, so that's going to be a bit problematic. So we'll get off then for the Heatseeker Pump Shotgun again. I think for me that's going to be about £1.50. So, all right, let's go put that down then. 1.56, add a little bit more. There you go, cool. So I think that's just over $2. Then we had the part electric furnace. I said I was going to do about 80 cents to $1.20. So let's go do that. Again, long term, it wouldn't surprise me if that drops off. Redemption bow. To be honest with you, yeah, I've got some pretty high hopes for you. So in regards to the redemption bow, you said $1.50 to $2. So let's go ahead and put that down. I can see some people have been very fast today. Wow. Had like over 400 buy orders after 10 seconds. Anyway, what are we doing? $1.50, so that's like 1.15 my currency. Don't do too many dots. So just think you're offering £115. You don't want to do that. Right, okay. Let's just request like 30. I'm slow. Yeah, I'm slow now, so that's too bad. Okay, now I'm going to switch over. I'm going to do my second batch of buy orders. Let's do the Naval Camo backpack. So this has already got a bunch of buy orders. These buy orders, in my currency, that's what you see, but that's probably about $1.20 right there. That right there is probably close to about $1.50. Do I want to just buy some straight from the Rust store, or do I just want to put down a good buy order? Because I have been very successful in picking up Naval Camo skins with a buy order. Might have picked up a lot of tier 3. Yes, and as I said, people did buy that out, so I'm quite happy. Anyway, if I were to offer £1, that's going to be $1.30. So I probably want to go about like this. Yeah, go on then. Let's go do a decent bar. That's probably like $1.25 maybe. Probably. I don't know 100%. Based on what I'm looking at here, I think we've got quite a decent amount of buy orders up to $2.50 and a little bit higher. So, all right, that's cool. Some other people going in strong. I'll go proceed as well. Going in. Hedge is in. And let's see if we regret doing that. Power electric furnace. Yeah, it's about $1.20, isn't it? It's probably smack dab onto it. You have had a lot of sales, but is it doomed? If I had to pick them up for half the price, like, am I going to regret putting down like a $1.25 buy order when we hit around October time 2026? The autumn fall seasonal dip. Yeah, I just don't request that much. Yeah, just do that. So I'll just request 30 there, that's fine. Redemption bow, second buy order. That has got some pretty good buy orders already. Yeah. Alright, go then. I'll go off with this. Cool. And then over to here. Yeah, we're all done then. So yeah, I'm fine to offer a fair bit more. I'm usually quick to notice if I'm getting dumped on and whatnot. But again, you've got to be like maintaining your buy orders somewhat frequently, especially as we get closer and closer to October time. Because if you neglect to keep an eye on these skins, suddenly you're getting dumped on and whatnot. But again, inevitably there will be the post-Christmas, January 2027, so blah, 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 yap, yap, yap. Alright, cool. So I'm fine with that. I was reasonably fast enough. I put down some decent buy orders. Let's now skip ahead look at the abnormal barter support, look at all these skins and question, are they actually going to retain their value? Do we actually want to jump in and buy any of these skins? Go on then, I guess we'll do the S&box Buy Orders as well. They're real! Right, See, are they going to end up like Rust skins eventually as time goes on? Does S&box eventually work out and people like it and all that? Hedge, I think you're too slow, but look at this, 20,000 buy orders. Oh boy, wow. Hey, it doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't hurt to try. So let's just go ahead and offer this. Let's see if that works out right in the future. Still no yellow one. Yeah, so I just offer these. Request 100. You know, like 100 of them with a penny buy order is not going to really affect me that much. But as of now, it's just 2 skins. So, all right then. I've just got to wait a little bit longer for the other ones, perhaps. We'll see. But I am led to believe it was just these 4 today. And then we probably have a few more in 2 days' time as well, I believe. Something like that. Anyway, so, yeah, we've also got S&box skins to be chasing after like this. All right then, let's now probably skip ahead. Okay, so it's been just over an hour. Prices have started to appear. In fact, I could just quickly refresh just to make sure we're fully up to date. And now, we're going to try our best to figure out, is it looking quite alright to jump in and just buy these skins straight from the Rust store? Do they look as if they could actually retain their value? This Heat Seeker pump shotgun, I would like to showcase it in dollars. My extension isn't working. Sorry to say. But I can sit here and say, these 2 listings, they're definitely over $4. And then from here, it's $5.50 and beyond. The buy orders we see here, well, they're definitely around $3. Close to it. I think this is a perfectly fine thing to chase after. It's got over 1,100 buy orders. Like, it's close to 1,200. The interest is there. The collection is in demand. It's almost summertime. Is almost Heat Seeker summertime. So considering that, I think there's too many positives behind it. Do you have the faith? Yes, I do. I think I'll just go ahead and grab some. But if you're in a position where you're like, I think I'll just stick with a barter. Like, some of you might sit there and say, could this potentially suffer later on this year? You know, like October time, the autumn fall seasonal dip. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But it has also, like, sold next to nothing. So, yeah. I'm not sure if that'll be struggling anytime soon. It's quite a high price. It's the sheer lack of sales that are really making it interesting. So I think I will jump in. Will we ever have another pump shotgun like that with that amount of transparency? Yes. Again, it does have a transparent aim sight. It's a bit weird, but it's there. So, all right, cool. That's nice. What about the Pirate Electric Furnace? The buy orders basically fall short from $1.50. Of course, I can't see that much more, but I did see earlier it has a lot of buy orders around $1.20. It's halfway, so yeah. I'm thinking the price we're seeing here is around $2.50. I think it's already starting to go down. But that did happen last week with the Neon Electric Furnace. Initially, there's listings below its Rust store price. They got bought though. I wouldn't be surprised if initially this is slightly above its Rust store price. Not profitable, but it's in the green. But with every brand new electric furnace being accepted, and don't be surprised with the possibility we could see 2 being accepted in the same Rust store tomorrow. That's expected to happen either tomorrow or next week. Yeah. The more options that appear, the more potential problems. It's a perfectly fine looking skin. And hey, if you bought one for yourself, that's fine. But if you're going to sit here and say, should I buy 50? No, I think you're just better off with a buy order. I think you could just offer, if you really wanted to buy some today, request them at like $1.50. Save yourself $1 each. It really wouldn't surprise me if you managed to pick all that up. So, yep, that's looking all right. Maybe in the long term it works out, as we said earlier. But I do believe that'll be dropping off. And I'm not sure if it goes that much worse from halfway, $1.20. But hey, we'll find out. It could get so much worse. But the collection is, appreciated. Now, the Redemption Bow. This does have quite a lot of support. As you'll notice here, that's my buy order. I have gone slightly above $2. I wanted to be the highest price buy order, the big one, if you know what I mean. And then you've got these other buy orders here, very, very close to its rust price. It is slightly above $3 right now. I think that's going to work out all right. Maybe it might suffer initially when times are awkward and bad and whatnot, like most Redemption weapon skins. But when times are good, I know it's a red collection, but it certainly is in the green. Yeah, I do believe that'll be working out quite all right. Redemption weapon skins and tools have been working out lovely, so I think that will be also okay. That probably would be a perfectly fine thing to consider buying. Although, to be honest with you, I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with a barter in this one. If you were to offer $2, I wouldn't be surprised if you do eventually pick up a bunch of these. Maybe it doesn't happen instantly, but as I just said, when times are bad, Redemption weapon skins do tend to drop off. They don't plummet, they don't crash and burn, but they do go down. So, yeah. So you could try and save yourself about 50 cents each. Try and pick them up for about $2. Now over to here, Naval Camo backpack. To be honest with you, of all the support we have here, I might be grabbing some. I've bought, like, other than the hoodie and pants, I bought in with all the previous skins, and, well, that worked out quite all right. Again, you might sit and say, what about the tier 2? The tier 2, it's not in a perfect spot, but it's still in a promising spot. Still got the potential. And I think that jacket's got a pretty good chance. It's got a lot of support. In fact, I think that's the most supported skin. No, it's the furnace, but that's second. Wow. Huh. And it's already at a default value. I didn't really make too much of a fuss about this earlier, but this is selling for the standard price. You might notice it's blue coded, but yeah, no. For some strange reason, it's listed at a deplorable price. It's selling for the standard price. It's not like $2 or $2.49. No, it's $1.49. I think that's going to be I honestly believe that'll be holding up quite nicely. It's the cheapest skin, and I certainly don't think that'll be suffering. Now, if you wanted to just stick with a buy order, I mean, it's $1.20. You might need to offer a little bit more. Honestly, I think you're just better off just buying it. That looks to be a perfectly fine thing to consider buying. And I think I will be buying some. Yeah. All right, cool. Temper Tactical Gloves. Not as much support compared to the other skins, but still, as time goes on, I could see it working out okay. I could see it working out all right. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be periods of time where it's going to be, struggling a little bit and whatnot. We've only seen a few of these tactical gloves really go down like a noticeable amount, but the majority, they're doing pretty sweet. This does slot itself into a complete collection. I can't sit here and confirm to you how in demand it is, but it's definitely got a home. So I'd imagine that looks pretty okay, but I think you are better off with just a buy order. So, yeah, you could just offer $2, you'll pick them up for a cheaper price. That might work out quite all right, but I'm happy with my my 1 to the 70 buy order. I'll be sticking with that. I'm quite happy. And just to confirm, what price for you again? I just want to make sure I'm definitely correct here. So, yeah, $2.49. If you really wanted them, yeah, you could just offer $2. Now, Psycho Tier 3, seems a lot of people just ended up sticking it around $1. That's fine. Again, if we do get the collection continuation, all good. If we don't, I'm sure it'll take a while for that to eventually go down real bad. By then you would have noticed, and by then you could just remove the barter. I only did one barter in the end. I wasn't that confident. Will I eat my words? Will I suffer? We'll see. But yeah, I think you're just better off with a barter. Like, if you truly wanted to pick up a bunch of these, just offer $1.10, $1.20. It wouldn't surprise me if you pick up a bunch of them. But will we see that collection continuation? We'll see. So, alright, cool. And then lastly, we had the Tribal Alloy AK-47. Yeah, I made a mistake. I forgot to mention the SAR in my Rust Workshop skin checks video. It was a newer skin creator. I wasn't following him. That's on me. Anyway, I would like to see that collection continuation. It does look nice, but nothing is a guarantee in life. So, I mean, we'll see. But no, it's a nice looking set. But I have seen some nice looking $3 AK-47 skins come out in the past, and then they suffer. So I'm a little bit cautious as all. But by all means, if you like it and you bought one for yourself, that's not an investment. That's a treat for yourself, okay? But if you are considering buying a bunch of these, looking at the barders, it ends at like $1.20. You could just offer $1.50, and chances are you'll probably be able to pick up a bunch of them. But if we do see the sequel being accepted, if we do see the SAR and potentially other weapon skins, that might have a pretty interesting future. But don't forget what happened to the Hellcore AK-47. Yeah, initially it went up a bit, but then it went like down. Because, well, yeah, it was carried by the set. And it's not exactly crashing and burning, but it's still down because people don't actually care that much for it. So, okay, cool. Understandable. So honestly, pump shotgun, redemption bow, Naval Camo backpack, I think those are the three to consider. Yeah, I think those are the three to consider. So if you felt the need to buy something, probably those three. They have the best support, and in the positions that they're in, with the background they have and whatnot, they're in a good spot. So, all right, cool. So, all right then, cool. Didn't you also do S&box Buy Orders? Yes, I did. See this right here? Scientist Hazmat. We're expecting that these S&box skins could end up like, well, these skins right here. Rust drop skins. You play for a decent amount of time, and what? Randomly, a month later, it'll just randomly give you one of these skins. Now, sometimes it can give you like a barrel. It can give you just basically like a high quality bag and whatnot. But in most instances, you get like one of these things. You can break it down. Like, you know, you've also got the signs. Yep, you also get them for free and whatnot. It can happen. Well, you can get this in S&box now. Just playing anything, right? Someone went ahead and bought this for over $110. What? Yeah. You could just go ahead and just play a bunch of mini games on S&box. Get these drop skins for absolutely free. And then apparently sell them for over $110. What? You're telling me right now that there is $30 buy orders for these particular skins right now, and all you have to do is just play S&box and hope that you get a free drop? Yes. Okay. What about over here? Because I know there's another one that's yet to appear still. And of course, we did do some other buy orders. Here's the pink gloves. So pink scientist gloves. Let's just copy that. Let's go over to here. I know this isn't specifically Rust related, but it's still like face punch related. And this is money on the table here. Like there's a $20 barter right there. People want these skins. So if you're a little bit tired of Rust and whatnot, honestly, just give S&box a try. There's a lot of interesting, promising mini games on there and whatnot. Some of them are wacky. Some of them aren't fully finished. But it's the beginnings of something, all right? I'm really very curious to see what S&box looks like in a year's time, okay? I look at many different Steam economies. Originally it was TF2, then I looked into Counter-Strike, then I looked into Rust. I saw promise with Rust. I've been, well, involved with it ever since 2017. What do you reckon about S&box? And yes, I'm fully well aware prices did rise up very high a month ago and it's dropped down again. You know what? It's probably a lot more approachable to get involved now. That's something I should be discussing. I should be making another S&box video. Well, there's an interesting thing to work with there. There you go. So maybe that'll be next week. We'll see. So yeah, interesting things are going on here. If you're not having that much success here, yeah, I think a moth just went on my face there. Ah, oh god, great. I love having my window open. Anyway, so cool. That's everything then. What are we going to see tomorrow? What are you hoping for? And more specifically, for the second week of June, I want to actually show this to you. I should have shown this earlier because I completely missed the announcement here. What's that? What's that? The auto turret is the next skinnable. Oh, there you go. There's confirmation. What collection do you want to see make an auto turret? What collection would you absolutely adore to get an auto turret skin accepted? Feel free to comment below. And just to confirm to you, yes, complete the sets is expected for the second week of June. It's just around the corner. And I also will sit here and say, who's to say it's just 1 week? It could be 2. And if you want to get a good idea of what could potentially be added and accepted in those complete the sets Rust stores, well, I said it earlier today. Consider looking in the description right now. Look for the complete the sets candidates collection. This is mine. It's not official, but it gives you a good idea of all the collections that could potentially get a skin accepted. And I will repeat, okay? Don't look at these skins specifically. Consider that, you know, if you're to go ahead, look at their page, look at their actual whole collection, look and see all the other skins that have been made but weren't accepted. As you might notice, all of them are the candidates. What we have posted here is just the representative, okay? And there's a lot of representatives. I forgot to remove that skin. I've got to remove some of these skins. Yes, funnily enough, some of the things I picked out to be representatives have, you know, quite literally been accepted as well. There was actually like 10 plus, but yeah, I didn't do a good job completely cleaning it all up. So, all right, cool. So now I get constant messages of people sitting there and saying, Hedge, can we get Temple Tier 2? Can we get Temple Tier 2? Can we get Temple Tier 2? Oh, I'm going to look forward to it for the next couple of weeks. So, with that, let's see what's accepted tomorrow. Let's see if we have a super early rust rotation. Last week was a surprise. When it's a force wipe, okay, early rust rotation. That's expected. But usually, rust stores tend to rotate around, what, 8 o'clock in the evening UK time? Last week it happened 5 hours earlier than that. So we'll see what happens. If you've watched this video, you're having your lunch break and whatnot, I would consider making a move and buy these skins if you're considering it. Make a decision sooner rather than later, because I don't know how quick the rust rotation is going to be tomorrow, okay? Better to be prepared than, so. All right, cool, that's it, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me, I greatly appreciate it. Catch you all later, see you, goodbye.